Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to another video. It's the new year, the beautiful new year, and we've got our CPI data coming in hot, our inflation data coming in hot. So January 16th, 2024, the CPI data was released for December of 2023. So we've got year over year, month over month data. What's going on with CPI, what's going on with inflation. We have the Bank of Canada rate announcement on January 24th. This video may come out after that, but I expect them to hold rates, or I'm gonna look pretty silly. I don't think they're gonna increase. I definitely don't think it's time for a cut. So probably business as usual, hold rates and just hold it a little bit longer and see what's going on. But we'll see on January 24th, which may or may not be in the past by now. Anyway, let's get into the CPI data. What's running hot? What's coming in higher than expected, lower than expected? What's gas doing? What's shelter doing? And how is all of this going to impact not only the Bank of Canada meeting a week from now, but in the future, in the spring and in the summer, when they're really expected to potentially cut rates, right? In the second and third quarter of 2024. What is this signaling going forward to either accelerate rate cuts or put the brakes on and say, whoa, inflation's still running pretty hot. We got to keep these rates high for longer. So let's get into the data, the very exciting, very wonderful inflation data for December of 2023. First, we'll look at year over year numbers. So CPI rose 3.4% in December. That is December 2022 to December 2023. Consumer price index rose 3.4%. That's year over year. Now, when we're comparing that to November, it rose 3.1%. So people may look at this, oh no, inflation's ticking up again. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have to increase rates. That's because gas prices are up 1.4% year over year in December, and they were down 7.7% year over year in November. So if we take out gas, if we do CPI X gasoline, we're 3.5% in December and 3.6% in November. So we're actually down for inflation X gasoline. Although 3.5% is still an elevated number, as Bank of Canada says, and policymakers, the target's 2, but I don't think we're getting to 2 anytime soon. So the new target may be 3. CPI is down 0.3% month over month when comparing to November of 2023. They cite that because of declines in travel tours and gasoline. So gasoline, a lot of people are off in December. Not as much travel for work. It's been really cold. People probably just not traveling as much as normal. Obviously, you're traveling for Christmas and New Year's, but I would say that's a fair assumption to make. Gas is down, and that's month over month, right? Not year over year, because year over year it's up from December. Travel tours, I never really understood travel tours. I don't know why it always makes its way in there. I mean, we have energy prices, we have shelter, we have gas, we've got food, and then somehow travel tours sneaks its way in there. Like travel tours should be a big issue, right, that we're looking at. So they're citing lower travel tours as being a factor of why CPI has declined. Next, rent, shelter, what actually matters in my field anyways. So rent continues to rip 7.7% year over year. Okay, so here's why. Because elevated rates push more people out of home ownership because they can no longer qualify. First-time home buyers can no longer qualify to purchase a home. We have record levels of immigration. We have not as much construction going on as we'd like. And elevated rates, they affect the first-time home buyers. They also affect the developers because when rates are elevated, that cost to finance the land with private mortgages goes up substantially. The cost for construction mortgages goes up substantially. And materials are still expensive, labor is still expensive, none of that's gone down, right? So it just becomes really expensive to build rental housing. So they have to charge higher rents to be able to make these projects pencil. So we've got everyone going into the rental market, and the rental market's expensive to build units. What's gonna happen with rents, right? People aren't gonna build units because it doesn't make sense. So the current units have more competition, more demand, less supply. What happens to prices? They increase. So that's what's going on with rents. Rents will continue to increase unless rates drop and more people can buy homes, or there's more government incentives to build more rental housing. There is the MLI Select program. CMHC has really been aggressive in now trying to fund these rental housing projects, but these take time to build, right? And we can't just do it like one or two duplexes at a time or one or two sixplexes at a time. I mean, they help, but it's got to be large scale, especially if we continue as much immigration as we have been doing. Shelter increased, so rent increased 7.7%, shelter 6% year over year. Rent, obviously, and mortgage interest costs being the main factor of this. It'll be interesting to see, maybe in the spring or summer of this year, what happens with that mortgage interest cost number, because then will be the year over year numbers. Even if we're the same, we may see that shelter cost go down, but rents, man, I don't know. I don't think rents are going down. So that's a little blurb on CPI of December of 2023. Be interesting to see how these numbers impact Bank of Canada's decisions, like I said, down the road, 2 or 3 decisions from now, because everyone's so much pressure on them to cut rates. But if inflation's up, I mean, rates aren't getting cut, because then it's just gonna, it's gonna go out of control like before. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me babble about lovely CPI and inflation. Hopefully you find these videos helpful, at least a little bit. Stay tuned next week for a new video, maybe a little bit more exciting topic.